All right, guys, let's check out a Seiko. I have to say big thanks to my buddy Jeff McMahon for sharing this. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel down below. This is his personal watch, the sbdx047. It is also known as the sla051. So that's basically just two different part numbers, same watch. It depends on the region of the world that it was distributed at, and that's the only difference really. So what are we looking at here? This is kind of a higher end Willard, it basically is the short of it, mostly because of, the case is totally different, but some of the design aspects, and then certainly the movement. The movement inside is the 8L35, which is a 4 Hertz automatic movement based off the Grand Seiko. That's right, Grand Seiko 9S55. That's where it's kind of originated from. It's just not as decorated, but it has a lot of the same characteristics. So case size on this is 44 millimeter. It's actually just a touch less, but basically 44. The lug to lug is 49. You can see it's drilled lugs. It is only 13.3 thick. It has a single domed sapphire crystal. You can see the distortion on there. That means it is a single dome. 20 millimeter lug width, and bracelet tapers down to 18. Nicely done bracelet. It is a pin and collar bracelet. And then for the clasp, you have a milled center section, stamped outer part here, a heavier duty stamped outer part with 4 micro adjust and an oversized fold over keeper there. So still has the dive extension there to keep their ISO certification. And then you have a screw down case back, screw down crown, 200 meter water resist. You can find this watch for around $2,300–2,500, right in there. That's where you're probably gonna actually pay for the watch. So I like the watch, don't get me wrong, but the turtle is pretty close. And then if you don't want to go, because the turtle's a little bit larger, if you don't want to go a little bit larger, you could go a little bit smaller and get the other Willard. So although I see the merit with this watch being that it has the 8L35 and it's just a more refined, the indexes or the indices are actually applied instead of pressed up through the dial. If that matters to you, I think they're actually more consistent when they do the pressing of them. I don't really care if the indexes are applied or pressed. I really don't care. It means nothing to me. The date, instead of a day date, you have a date here and it's sandwiched in between the 4 and the 5. Pretty centered, not too bad of a location, like 430-ish. And you're limited on colorways with these, whereas when you get into the Willards or the Turtles, you have a crazy amount of different colorways. So, like I said, I get the merit with this watch. I do actually appreciate what they've done there, but was it really needed? I don't know. I don't think so. But nevertheless, I think there's a ton of people out there that have these and truly do enjoy them. And I don't mean to bash on it at all, guys. 120 click bezel. The bezel insert on this looks like ceramic, but I believe it's actually a whatever proprietary coating that Seiko does over a steel insert. It basically looks like ceramic, and it has very similar scratch resistant and everything because they seem to hold up really good. If we zoom in on this, you'll see you have a very matte or textured matte dial there. It's an anthracite. And then you have a nice polished and brushed handset. And you have that stoplight seconds hand there. The discrete date placed in at the 4:30. These are going to be all made in Japan. That's just a quick look at it, guys. Let me know what you think. The crown is about 6.4 millimeters, so just under 6.5. And if I'm being completely honest on that, it's actually very tricky to manipulate, at least for me. Your mileage may vary. The turtle crown is much easier to operate. Let's pop it on wrist so you can see what it looks like. It absolutely feels amazing on wrist. There's no arguing that, as does the Willard. So I will say that this one and the Willard does wear better than the turtle. Not that the turtle wears bad, I'm just saying this wears better, if that makes any sense. It's got a nice little heft to it. You're going to want to size the bracelet appropriately. This is obviously sized for Jeff's wrist, a little bit larger than mine. I wasn't going to size it up, but If you get it sized, if you get it dialed in, which is easy enough to do because these links aren't very long, and you have 4 micro adjusts, so you should be able to get it dialed in nicely. And I think that would work really good. There it is side by side with the turtle. You can get turtles at a much lower price point, so that's why I bring it up. Like maybe you got it in your mind that you want the sla051 or whatever colorway version of it, but it's such a stretch financially. I'm just saying that the standard Willard and the standard turtles are, they're no slouch either. They're actually really good watches. So just food for thought. Do whatever you want with it. And I don't normally do that. I know I usually just say that awesome watch and it's great and you should get it or whatever. And it is all of that. But, if it's a stretch for you, don't feel like the turtle or the Willard is a compromise. I think they're both equally very good watches. So different movements, all that good stuff too. So it is definitely a more premium movement, 4 Hertz sweep on there, and just a higher grade movement. It should be a little more accurate, but it's not spec'd as being much more accurate. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video.